Yo, what's good, guys? Producer Mykah here, and today, guys, I'm just gonna be giving you some ideas on how you can make your beat sound really interesting. So without wasting time, let's just go right into our DAW. I have these amazing beats. First thing I'm gonna tell you is that if you can get vocal samples in your beats, it's definitely gonna make your beat sound interesting. So you might have a very nice beat, but what you're just missing is an amazing vocal sample. So let's look at this beat, for example. Let me just play the intro so we hear what it sounds like. So you can hear the vocals. Nice vocal. Nice, right? So I'm just gonna take off the vocals so you hear without the vocal sample how it sounds like, and tell me which you prefer. So I'm just gonna take off the vocals. Let's take this thing that's the vocal we're using. This another vocal, and let us play it. You know, it gets boring. You're already getting tired of it, like, okay. But you know, with that vocal there, it just gives it, you know, a nice feel, a nice flair. It just makes it interesting that you won't forget how long the intro sounds. But without the vocal, you know, it gets repetitive, it sounds boring. So try using vocals on your beat. And one way you can get amazing vocal is go get my packs. Igaboy has done lots of amazing vocal samples which you can use. Or if you want to get my pack, I don't know why you don't want to get my pack, but if you don't want to get my pack, on that place you can get amazing vocal sample. It's on Splice, on Waves, you know, on producer sources. You know, there are a lot of people dropping, you know, vocal samples out there you could go, you know, get. Splice has tons of vocal samples, so Splice might be your, you know, number one go-to place if you want to get amazing vocal samples, because you know even the vocals I use on these was from Splice. So number two way you can make your beat sound really interesting is putting in cuts at some part of your beat. So you know, putting in those pauses can just make your beat sound really interesting. And I'm gonna be showing you another example of where that play an amazing role. So, and you can see even on this project I've done a little bit of cutting, so you can see before the bass comes in. Yeah, so you can just feel as the bass comes in, that cut there just make it really interesting, right? You know, just put in pauses. Another place you can put pause is, you know, I can decide to do like something like this. Then, you know, the beat comes in again. I don't know if you get. So putting in, let me show you an example of what I mean. So most times I just, after the first hit for the verse, I just like adding in a cut there. Let me just cut it. Let's cut. Okay, so I'm just gonna like I said, just take out this part. So just take out this part. Yeah, so you know, you'll see what I'm saying about cutting your beats. Yeah, so little pauses like that actually just makes your beat interesting. So if you're like, oh, what am I gonna add again? What am I gonna add? And you know you're not having ideas, one thing you can do is just make sure you just create cuts in your beat at some strategic place. You know, don't just put the cuts everywhere. It's not gonna sound interesting. So you have to figure out where you are placing that cuts for it to sound really interesting. And for me, one way is when I'm transitioning into the hook, or another way is immediately I just hit, you know, with the verse, I just put in the cuts there just to create that space. So that's the number two way you can make your beat interesting. Nice. So number one is, like I said, use vocal samples. Number two is to, you know, create cuts so that, you know, there can be cuts in your beat and spaces, you know, just create suspense. Yeah, that's the word. It creates suspense. So putting cuts in your beat actually just creates suspense. And the number three way you can make your beat really interesting is using live sounds. So you know, we're in a digital world where you could just use plugins, you know, to make your beat. But once you can input elements of, you know, live sounds, it's actually gonna make your beat really interesting. So in case you've not been using that, you could, you know, try that out. And one way you can do that is getting, you know, like a live violinist to play a violin for you, or get like a live saxophonist to play a live sax, or get a live guitarist to play a live guitar. On that way you can do it is to get samples, so you can go on Splice and get amazing sample. Okay, so yeah, so this, like I said, this is a live bass. This was a live bass that was played. Yeah, so I actually needed like a live bass, because for me I played an amazing bass here. Yeah, but you know, like I said, sometimes to just make things interesting, you just need like a second person or a second producer that's just gonna work on it. So I sent this to Zubit to to add some bass, and he actually brought in a variation of bass. And let's just play those sounds. I mean, it just brings in a different flair. Like for here now, I can have different parts I'm just gonna chop up. So these are just three ways that for me I just use to make my beat interesting most of the time. And I'm sure most of you might be doing this now, but in case you've been wondering why your beats have not been sounding interesting, or maybe you're missing out something, just try adding vocal effects. Another thing, try cutting your beats just to create suspense. And the third way, just try putting in like live sounds. Live sound is just gonna add that chef kiss it. So this is just a quick tutorial. I didn't want to just, not every time we do a beat or do a beat breakdown. Sometimes just need to like drop some 1 or 2 gems, and you're definitely gonna thank me later if you can put all this in practice. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this was helpful. If it was, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so you definitely get notified when there's Mykah post. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next one.